All right, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kelly Brown. I was informed that I never say that, so I just said it. First, I would like to let you know that we're going to have a slight change of order. There will be no police report today. We have the deck. It's on the website. Scan the QR code. You can see all the information. We had a lot going on today, and Mr. Matt got to have the day off. So there's got to be a page 2. Page 2, because this only has 2 people on it. All right, I'll just go from memory. First, I want to talk about something that some of you may or may not know. Jim Ludwig really works hard on our newsletter that comes out every month, just a few days before the meeting. He packs it with information, but I know that not all of it gets read all the time. So for those of you that are not aware, Pat Robinson has retired from the city
21 days.
in 21 days. So, many of you know him from your early years in life, and he was an officer, and you probably were getting arrested for something.
Some of you in this room know who you are.
Or you were calling for help. Others of you know him as the deputy city manager who was helping you to solve a problem or telling you, that is not going to happen, so stop asking. He has been such a great informational person. When we have hurricanes and we send those Facebook posts out and we send those text messages out and we send those newsletters out saying, this is what's happening, this is the hurricane, do this, do this, do this, that all comes from a text from Pat, working to give us information. So he is going to be greatly missed. And we have a small gift for him here because I'm that kind of girl. I track down his wife to see what he likes. And I just want to take a minute for us all to wish Pat well on his next adventure and tell him how much we appreciate him. Pat.
So guys, this will be my last CCNA meeting, at least in the official capacity with the city. But I wanted to tell you, it's been a blast. Sometimes not so much, but sometimes really good. I think we got a lot done. I think we got a lot of good things handled, and that was what, when Marlon brought me in and we sat down the first time, it wasn't as good as it is now, I can tell you that. I mean, it was pretty hostile. I don't want to say hostile. Maybe it wasn't as fun. Let's put it that way. Confrontational, thank you, my thesaurus. But you know what? Over time, I think we built up a lot of trust, and I know we still work on that on a daily basis. Things come in and things go out. Sometimes my job has been to tell people we can't do things. But all of you really worked with us and with staff to get things done for the neighborhoods, and that's what this is really all about. And that's why this works. And I'm so glad to see, actually, there's a lot of people here. It wasn't for me, I'm sure. But, keep coming, keep advocating, keep bringing new people in that are excited about your neighborhoods. Because ultimately, that's really what a city is, right? It's the people that come in here and live here on a daily basis. We get lots of visitors that come in, and we're happy to take their money, and we're happy for them to leave. But, the folks that are in this room are the ones that really make this place special, and they have for generations, and that's why Sarasota is such a great place to live, work, and play. And, I have to thank the staff. Jennifer, thank you for picking up the slack while I've been out. Jerry's here, Todd's here. You can't do it. Who did I miss?
Kelly.
Oh, Nancy. How do I miss Nancy? Well, she's not talking to me now. She's mad. She's shunned me when I walked in. But you have a lot of great staff, a lot of great professionals. Continue to lean into them because they really do care. It's one of those things where you don't really know the efforts that go on behind the scenes. And this group does a little bit more than most. But they need your support when things get rough. When we have hurricanes since June 1st, beginning of hurricane season, they all have their own emergencies at home that they have to deal with, and they're dealing with the entire community's emergencies. So when things get tough, give them a little extra support, a little extra words of encouragement. It goes way further than you'll ever know. Thank you guys. It's been a great 6 years working with all of you. getting choked up. Jeez. So I need you guys to like send me some text like your garbage is getting picked up. That didn't get taken out. It'll get me my mind right. So I'll be around until the 26th. I've got some time off here and there, but I'll be in the office. So I'm going to work with Kelly to get a date on the books to go maybe do a thing out on St. Armand's and hit a bar and maybe everybody can join for drinks and hang out for a little while before I'm completely off the books. So thank you guys very much. It's been a blast. You know what you do. That's why this place is special, is because the people in this room, I can't thank you enough.
Careful, that bag might rip out because that's rather heavy. All right, so new members at the table. I know of one. We have a new neighborhood member. I'm looking for you. Here, Bearded Oaks, Leo Fitzgerald. Welcome, Leo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining CCNA. We're super excited to have you. Any other new, thank you. I can't see you.
Introduce Nancy Kalin. She'll be the alternate delegate for Broadway Promenade.
Broadway Promenade. Thank you, Nancy. Welcome. Welcome. Anyone else? All right, so special guests. Of course, first and foremost, Nancy Kelly is here. Commissioner and Mayor Debbie Trice is in the house. Good morning, Debbie. One of our favorite people, Parks and Recreation, Jerry Fogel is here with us this morning. And of course, another favorite, Code Compliance, Whitney Costa is in the house. Commissioner Jenny Ahern-Koch is with us. You know, I don't think where she signed in, but I know she's here. Vice Mayor Kathy Kelly Ulrich is here with us. Interim City Manager Jennifer Jorgensen is here with us this morning. Jennifer, there she is. Of course, our presenter for the day, Todd Kurcharski, is here with us, going to tell us all about hurricanes. Liz, good morning. Commissioner Liz Alford is here. I think that's Jan sitting next to her. Jan Thornburg from the city is here. Hard to see that far back. Of course, County Commissioner Mark Smith is here with his lovely wife Esther. And last but certainly not least, our new city manager, Karie Friling, is here with us this morning. Welcome, Karie. All right, so we're skipping the police report. As I mentioned, we're going to jump into reports. Treasurer's report is first.
We have $6,056.32. End of report.
I'll tell you, our P.O. box is up. Those things are expensive. $196 for a year for a little tiny box, and they're not making money. I don't get it. All right, area reps. Will, go first.
Sorry about that. Hi everyone. No update, but I do have everyone's contact information that is in my area, so you will be hearing from me. Would love to get together, get to know you, start going to your meetings regularly so that I can speak more thoroughly about our area. So you'll be hearing from me over the next few days, and I look forward to meeting with all of you.
Thank you, Will. Beth.
Just want to check, St. Armand's, are you going to be reporting on the fishing session?
Yes.
That we had? Okay, I won't steal your thunder, but that was incredibly important.
Yes.
And CCNA knows that we need to stay abreast of what's happening out there in your community. So you have our support.
Area C, no report. Next committee reports real quick. Neighborhood safety, traffic calming, phase 2. We are going to sunset today because there's nothing else we can do except go to the city and ask for money to fund the things that Alvie Marie and Karen and the committee worked on together to help with traffic calming in our neighborhoods. All the work is done, now we just need money. Is Kelly Strickland here? Norm, you're gonna go next.
Hello, Carl Richardson up here is Steve Carlucci and Barry Butler, are you here? if we come up, this is our committee that's been working on the traffic safety in regard to our neighborhoods. We have about 14 neighborhoods who've come on board in terms of the project that we're involved in. It's a project that I think is important because what we're doing is very different than other traffic studies. Other traffic studies give you a general picture of what happens in the entire day. That may not really give a clear picture of what happens at the critical moments in our neighborhoods. Our purpose here is to try to focus in on those areas where we have problems in regard to speeding. Therefore, it's going to be up to the neighborhoods who are involved to decide what are those critical times in your neighborhood. Neighborhood participation is going to be very, very important. Carl? Okay, and Steve, they are going to be your contact individuals as we are moving forward with this project. We have sent out 4 sheets, okay, by email. You should have received yours.
Norm, mic's not working. Trade me.
Oh, it isn't?
Right here. Behind you.
Okay, I thought it was working. Sorry about that. I hope you could all hear me. Okay, we'll move forward then. Okay. Let me just describe to you these 4 handouts. They have been sent to you by email. Please check your email. It's important information if you're involved in this particular initiative. First one is a list of the coordinators. You should have a coordinator for your particular neighborhood. Here's the contact list, email, telephone numbers, etc. Hopefully, the coordinators are going to be contacting you in your neighborhood to discuss what will need to be done. The second list is the really important one. On the second sheet, you have Traffic Safety Initiative reserving the laser. This is where your group will need to decide those spots where you would like to reserve the laser. Not everyone's going to be able to use the laser at the same time, obviously. We have one laser that the police have provided us. Therefore, we're going to ask your neighborhood to give us 3 spots that you would like to use the laser. We will then do it in order. We'll try to provide you your first choice. But if we have 2, 3 neighborhoods who want the laser at the same time, we're going to have to work through, the committee will work through the best way to try to resolve those conflicts. So please, this next week, by the end of May 10th, please give us the information as to the three selections that you have for using the laser. We'll start the actual monitoring on May the 17th. Okay. So we have a week to gather your information, and then we start the following week actually doing the monitoring. So if you have any questions, the people to go to, Steve Arnanucci, right? Carl Schafstall. They will answer all your questions and provide you great information. I've got to say, where we are is that we have had great response from our liaison from the SPD. Officer Bruno has actually had 2 sessions where he's training us on the use of the laser. Did a great job. He was very open, very willing to help, has given great information about how to approach this. So what I have here is the, oops. Actually, here's a copy of the introduction that he has given us at the 2 sessions regard to training. It's a good idea to review this before you go ahead and do actual monitoring of the speed in your neighborhood. The last thing, before, we've had,
My fault, sorry.
okay, Steve Martinovich has done a wonderful thing. He's actually gone out, okay, on the street, and he has done the pilot in terms of, well, what happens when you're out there and actually doing the monitoring. He has come up with observations that are very, very helpful in terms of how to go about doing this. He's had some interesting experiences in that process, by the way. He can give you good advice on how to handle those situations. So please go ahead and look at those sheets. Do review those in regard to preparing for doing the actual monitoring. And if you have any questions, Carl, Steve, they're the people to go to. Okay. Thank you.
Right, Parks Protection Committee, just a quick update.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, yes. Rob wants to ask a question.
How?
Pretend you have a microphone.
Yes, so I'm just curious, with the sunsetting of the committee.
The Phase 2 committee.
Right.
Yes, traffic calming.
How are we gonna communicate with the city about getting this as a priority in the budget? That's my question, I'm just curious.
So,
Is this?
so you
tell
know
them here,
how much
or
I
stick
love to go to the city commission meetings on Monday morning and use my 3 minutes to talk about something we want. I plan to do that regularly. And also, May 5th is the budgeting workshop. As many of you that would like to show up and give your opinion on, we want traffic calming, that would be super duper. That's the May 5th workshop, we're located at the Annex, City Hall, 5:30? 5:30, thank you. Oh, sorry, Kevin, question?
Where can we find emails for Carl and Steve? It's on that list.
It's on the sheet, I think. Well, we'll give you that.
It's on the sheet.
I thought you should have got an email, I don't have the email. Oh.
You don't have the.
We'll get it for you, Kevin. We'll get it sent out. Does Jim have your data?
Yeah, Carl and Steve, we have the email and telephone number on the sheet.
Does Jim have this sheet? Send this sheet to Jim so he can send it to the members, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
And if you're doing the monitoring, if you want to use the safety vest, we have those available.
I highly recommend the safety vest. Highly recommend the safety vest. You're pointing a gun at people. Wear a safety vest.
A laser, not a
Yes, I
gun.
yes, I do. I want to introduce another city commissioner that's in the house, Kyle Batty. I know I saw you when that happened. Good morning, Ron. Parks Protection Committee, here's where we're at. Something super cool is happening that I'm not sure has happened before, but the Parks and Recreation Environmental Protection Advisory Board has reached out to CCNA's Parks Protection so we can work together to get the zoning changes that we want done and the things that they're working on done as it relates to a parks district. So that's super exciting, and we'll be working on that this month together. Did I miss a committee? Oh, air quality. I'll let Ron talk about that.
Yeah, so everyone here knows that air quality's been dealing with US Recycling, and the public pressure with US Recycling has been very successful in that, and there's more to come. But they dissolved their company back in February, and that was mostly because of us and the city applying pressure on that. But here comes the bad news. So they continued to operate, even though after they dissolved. So we went to the state and said, how can they have a permit if they have no company? And the state said, we'll look into it. A month later, after continued pressure between us and Suncoast Waterkeepers, it rose to the level of the litigation office in the state. And the litigation office said, we'll look into it. So then finally, on April 7th, the litigation office issued a warning letter saying, you're operating without a permit, you can't do that. So what US Recycling did is all the staff left and a new company came in. It's no longer US Recycling, it's Central Sarasota Recycling. They still don't have a permit. So CCNA, as well as Suncoast Waterkeepers, started asking the county, started asking the city. We have an industrial operator that's still functioning, causing pollution, unpermitted, unlicensed. And we found out the county doesn't have any laws against industrial operators operating illegally. And we found out that the city really doesn't have a law that prevents or allows the city to cease operations. The only thing the city really has is something that's known as the business tax. And with the business tax receipts, compliance, and thank you for this, did all that the city could do and issue a citation based on the business tax receipt. So where we're at right now is we have a harmful polluting facility that's operating illegally. The state says they're operating illegally and there's nothing anyone can do. But what we're going to do is on Monday, we're going to approach our city commissioners, because we've already talked to the city attorney's office, and what the city can do is add in that legal framework, a simple ordinance that says, if you're an industrial operator operating illegally, the city has the ability to fine you and to cease operations. It's the same thing that code compliance would do is if a building was being built unsafe. You know, if it was an unsafe building, the city can do a stop work order. But there's no such thing right now for industrial operators. So that is where we're at. So if you want to know, yes, they're still functioning without a permit, illegally, and we're looking into at least adding the framework that the city should have, not just for US Recycling, but for any operator, particularly the industrial ones that can harm the public. They should have the proper license, they should have the proper regulation. And that's as much as we can do.
Thank you, Ron. Anybody want to ask questions about that before we move on? All right.
Just one question. I'm not familiar as to how this works legally. If there is an ordinance in place, is that going to apply to businesses that are presently operating, or is that somehow grandfathered so that businesses who are operating are not under that ordinance?
What we're envisioning is an ordinance that discusses illegal operations, so no one can be grandfathered. You know, they don't have any legal reason, you know, to continue to operate. You know, there's nothing there. The problem is there's no enforcement mechanism right now for any of the jurisdictions. The only jurisdiction that could do something today is the state. The state could fine them $25,000, potentially that kind of money every day. But we have right now the state that's looking into it.
We have also reached out at the state level where possible, but it hasn't gone well so far. There's more hands up down there. Valerie?
So I don't know about those. They're probably legal, but on Myrtle Avenue, there's also Newtown have continued to fight about the particles in the air on that side. So what is happening with those on that side? Have you inquired about it, or it's only about 10th Street and Central?
Well, right now, the main focus is on 10th Street and Central. We've looked into the other one. The other one at least went through and got the proper license. This is just flaunting, brazenly. Imagine a bar operating irresponsibly without a liquor license. That's what we have with US Recycling. They just are flaunting any regulation. They just simply do not care.
The Myrtle Street one you're referring to, Valerie, is actually on county property, not city property. So our thought process was, let's figure out how to solve US Recycling first, and then let's look at, because there's another one on 301 in the Newtown area called Coastal Recycling that we're also very, very closely monitoring to try to help wherever we can.
What about writing our elected representatives? If you could send us a contact for, if we start for state, and ask them and tell them the state's not doing what they're supposed to do for us. So if everybody here sent a letter and we had 100 emails going to our elected representatives saying, okay, now it's time to do something for us.
Agreed, and it's an election year. So hopefully we get some people that are sensitive.
It's worth the effort. We could
Yeah,
that information
we'll send that out.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to say your name and your neighborhood. I totally forgot that. My bad.
Jerry Fagan, Glen Oaks Ridge. So what's happening Monday? You're having a meeting Monday? What time?
No, Monday, the city commission has their meeting. So as part of public comments, they can't act, but at least.
Can we go there, citizen?
Absolutely.
What time?
It's 9 a.m.
9 Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
It's about 60 columns on the menu too. Lynn?
Lynn Elkis, Gillespie Pond. It really is also an environmental issue, because that's what this stems from, besides the fact they're doing something illegal. Well, not just one thing, but many. What about the Environmental Protection Agency in the state of Florida? Are they working with you? Have you gotten in touch with them on any level?
So the state delegates some of their authority to the county. The county has been absolutely wonderful. And they've gone out there on Saturday. They were bringing in a cement crushing equipment to a facility that's unpermitted. So it's illegal to bring that equipment on. They came out on Friday and checked it on Saturday. They only have, the problem is with enforcement. They can only issue citations. So they can't go that far. The state, which really has the enforcement, is the one that's doing inaction. So our city attorney's office has been calling the state saying, do your job, and they just haven't.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Next up, Todd Kurcharski, who's the General Manager of Public Services, is here with us this morning because, hurricane season is just 30 mere days away. We need to talk about that. Todd, take it away.
Thank you, Joey. I want to extend just an apology for Rachel Bingle, who is our emergency manager. She had a personal matter that came up, so she was going to be presenting. She's a lot better looking than I am, so you got stuck with me. But I'm going to lead you through some slides, and then afterwards, a lot of you may remember this from last year. The county had put out for preparedness. I brought some copies that are up there, and if you individually want to get out to your neighborhoods and get that to your neighbors, I encourage you to get that for them. Because right now is the time to prepare. How many people have not been impacted by a hurricane living here in Florida? Right. So let's get prepared and get ready for the season. The blessing on the flip side of that is if we don't get anything like last year, we're good. But 2024, I don't think I'll ever forget that year. I don't think anybody else will. Doing work?
TV guy coming in.
Oh, you got the magic touch. All right. Let's see. Go back. There we go.
Quick dreams.
There.
Rachel would have known how to do that.
I was supposed to be Vanna White anyway. Lucky I'm screwing that up too. So, for everyone, if you have not had an opportunity to meet Rachel, I encourage you to at least give her a call, introduce yourself, because she's going to be our point of contact when we wind up having to get the EOC going, which is the Emergency Operations Center. So if you don't know, everybody's email address in the city of Sarasota is their name. So Rachel's would be rachel.engel@sarasotafl.gov. Everybody get that down? It's also on the website. And then mine would be the same, Todd.Kurcharski@sarasotafl.gov. There it goes. Oh, thank you. So we do have our EOC, which is at the police station. You're up for there. The county also has their operations set up, and we're going to just share with you a photo to show it's intense that everybody's there getting ready for the event or going through the event. Thank you. So the process, if you will, and an incident would occur, then it goes to local response. From there, they would go to the state, and state to state or regional, and then lastly to the federal resources. And as many of you know, we wind up working with the state and FEMA in order to get reimbursement. Right now, FEMA is still in flux, and we cannot move forward with any of our Milton repairs. So I appreciate everyone's patience. Please know staff is very frustrated, and I'm using this in a funny way. Our new 4-letter F word is FEMA. We want to get those projects done. We want to get the parks open so that everybody can enjoy it.
It's just not.
I'm pushing the same area. I wonder if it disappeared.
Oh, yes, you could.
I guess I'm doing stand-up today. These are all the organizations that get involved when there's an emergency response that goes there. So I don't want to go through the whole list, but you can see there's a lot of players that are involved. This isn't just the city coming together. There's a lot of organizations that are going to be out there helping to assist with the program. Thank you. See, look at him. So this is the state's emergency operations they have set up. And again, this is just more to give you an idea of what happens. This is something that builds up together. Next, please. The other one is our National Hurricane Center. Their mission, and this is also an eye test. Can you read that? The mission is to save lives, mitigate property loss, and improve economic efficiency by issuing the best watches, warnings, and forecasts for hazardous tropical weather, and by increasing understanding in these hazards. So a lot of you may be familiar with that. They do have an app. I encourage you to get that on your phones or on your computer so that you can access that. Some people are old school and like to use the radio. That's okay. However you can get that set up, stay tuned to any information that's on there. Next, please. So the patterns of storms, everyone knows that. How many storms does it take to impact the city? One. Thank you. Many of you may recall we had Tropical Storm Debbie in 2024. Do you remember in 2018? Tropical Storm Debbie. Thank you. Anyways, the point is that that storm did some damage, and it did a lot on the bayfront. It doesn't take a lot to do that. It was so far offshore, it impacted us all the way inland. So you just need to take time to understand the importance of preparation. Here's our high points that they have for the hurricane season, but quite honestly, this is our peak time. This is where you need to prepare. Even though there isn't a lot going on here, does anybody remember the no-name storm that happened in June 11th? So it's all about preparation and getting ready. Next, please. This is just to kind of show what we had in 2025. Luckily, we didn't get anything our way. Matter of fact, we didn't get anything in the state of Florida. But it's good to at least get an understanding that they name the storms and prepare for those accordingly. There was 13 named storms, 5 were hurricanes, 4 major hurricanes, and anything that is above a Cat 3 can do some major damage in the city. This is on the county's website, little guide for preparedness on there. Again, another eye test, but I believe that the slides will be available for everyone to utilize if you need to refer back. But now's the time to do that, to get on the website and look at what's available on there so that you can share that with your community. Next slide, please. Again, evacuations, when to know to stay or when to go. How many people in the barrier islands should stay if we have some type of storm that's coming? Man, you guys are great. So the point on that is to prepare, to get yourself set up. If you have a place to go and you have to leave your home, make sure that you have it secured. A lot of the challenges that we saw, at least I saw when I went back on the island when I could, was there was people that were testing homes' doors. So please make sure that you get yourself and your neighbors prepared for somebody coming back inappropriately. Just saying. Different levels of storms, 7 foot, 15 foot, 20 foot. You can see how that will impact us. If we get 20-foot storm surge in here, that's going to hit us at Public Works, because that's probably the highest point in the city. And if we do that, I'm not getting my surfboard out, because I'm not even going to be here. I'm going to be at the EOC. But again, it's about thinking, how is this going to impact you? Be prepared accordingly, depending on what's happening during those discussions with the storm. Next slide, please. So evacuation times. If anybody evacuated out of here, did anybody realize that the traffic was even worse when you left? So if you can, try to prepare accordingly. These are guidelines, if you will. And you just need to be in the mode of getting out if you need to. And again, that helps the rest when we're going to try to react after that hurricane. We don't want to have to come out there and pick up loved ones that didn't make it through the storm. I know SPD had some challenges and that was scary. We want to make sure everybody is safe. So please prepare and think about what your routes are going to be. Next one is the whole communication. I'm glad Jan is here. Jan did a great job helping get all that information out. And again, you have an inner circle here that you can do that. Make sure you're talking to each other to prepare. There's different processes that we go through to make sure that the information gets out. And if the cell towers go out, that's where you, if you can get old school walkie-talkies. I think we still have a few of them that we can get that's 2.5 mile radius in the city. So if you even need to get something as simple as a walkie-talkie, you can have fun and just, roger, whatever. Next slide, please. Get a plan. How many people have a plan? I don't see a lot of hands raised in here. So time to start getting together, put a plan. A lot of you may have pets. I have a tortoise and 2 cats. We prepare accordingly. The tortoise comes with my wife if we have to go out. Otherwise, she gets put in the bathtub. And I share that with you because pets go through dramatic emotional challenges when those storms go through. If you haven't noticed that, it's a fact. So you need to prepare them accordingly. And then stay informed as much as you can. Again, there's a lot that's going to be going on. Storms could change. And I've been through a few of them where all of a sudden it's coming and then it's not. I think Uncle Milton proved that hurricanes drink alcohol when they come in, because that thing was going all over the place. Flood insurance. Not every homeowner insurance has flood insurance. So make sure you're looking through your insurances so that you have that covered. And if you don't, now's the time to consider that. Next slide. Here's a whole process of preparation. That'll be in the emergency preparedness guide that I showed you. The biggest thing is to take those seriously. Make sure you check them off. I'm one of those checkers. I want to make sure that I got everything set. However you need to do that, get yourself prepared. Don't wait last minute to go get gas. Does anybody remember how long the lines were at the gas stations? So prepare accordingly. Next slide, please. The last one's here. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. If you're going to stay at home and you're out here, nobody's going to come and get you until after that storm comes through. And I don't know how many of you have seen the videos, and I won't mention where he was, kept going from one story to the next story that they were on top of the house until the waters came up over the house. So I know I'm being a little dramatic, but I want to emphasize preparing for yourselves. Next slide, please. The county has a program set up with the school board to get places that you can stay at. So if there's evacuation centers that you need to go and you're going to have to go there, make sure if you have pets that you get those set up too, because that can be problematic. And make sure you take all your necessities. I would take at least a minimum of 3 days of what you need. So if that's prescriptions, vitamins, your food, prepare yourself accordingly that you would be stuck there for at least 3 days. So that if something does come up, you're not trying to be concerned with that. Next slide. And then here's a listing of all the stuff to get yourself prepared with. Water in general, everybody should have that set up. The city of Sarasota does a great job making water. So make sure you're using it for yourselves. And then all the different items, flashlights, batteries. The last part I really like, well, cash, yeah, that's definitely good too. I think Pat took all the cash with his bag. But puzzles, books, and games. You gotta get your mind, because when I went back out on the barrier island and I was looking around, I saw a few residents and it looked like the dawn of the dead. They were just walking around and they were so impacted by that storm. And we're all gonna get impacted by it, but we need to do things that lift us up a little bit on that. I know I'm getting on time, correct? And then getting your building all prepared. If you can't do that, please help your neighbor to do that or get someone else. If you have to have a contractor to prepare it for you, prepare accordingly. There's a lot of older homes that we like to have around still, so preparing the best you can will help that weather the storm. After the storm, please don't go out driving around and look at everything. Stay at home, do what you need to do. We have what's called a tactical first-in teams. They go out and get all the major roads cleared so that if something is really bad, they're getting that all opened up so that if the National Guard, whoever needs to get in here, can help and assist. We don't need a lot of people out there driving and looking. And that's kind of the challenge that they've run into when that occurs. again, flooded areas, your insurance. I don't know how many of you were out in the barrier islands after the event went, but we had staff with special vehicles, including SPD, going out, and it was scary. It was a lot of areas underwater. So you gotta prepare and think about that, especially with down power lines. Don't be taking a stroll with your little pet out when it's water around, because the scary part is the power lines that are down, you sometimes can't even see them in the daylight. Next slide, please. I want to thank everyone for your time and listening. The biggest thing I encourage you to do is prepare. And I'll leave it up for any questions that you may have, or comments or concerns. And just remember too, even if you don't think it today, please feel free to give me a call, or Rachel a call, or text, whatever comes up, because we're stronger together. If we get divided, we fall a lot harder. Thank you.
Anybody have questions for Todd? Ooh, we have a hand up, Jody. Hey, while the microphone's coming around, you know, there's a lot of new people in our neighborhoods that maybe have never experienced a hurricane before. This is a great opportunity for you to take some of these books that are over on the table there in that box. Take some with you, introduce yourself to the new people in your neighborhood. Make sure they have this book so that they know what to do. Because, you know, the first time I came here was right 2 days before Idalia. It was an eye-opener for me. So, and I always say I'm gonna move afterwards. So please take some of these books, and know that when the power goes out in your community, there's usually a street potentially that still has power. Drag an extension cord out there, put out a charging station, and help your neighbors stay plugged in. All right, Joe, question for Todd.
Does the book come in Spanish as well?
Yes.
Thank you.
You can reach out to the county and they can get you Spanish books. Right.
Carol, Shoreland Woods. I just wanted to stress, in your deck, you had a line. If you have members of your community in your neighborhood, it's really important if they are medically necessary for oxygen or anything when electricity shuts down, you can register them at scgov.net disability or something.
Yes.
It's in the deck. It's really, really important to register your loved ones or people that you know that might not be aware of that option. And it's really fantastic because they do call people and they do say, do you need evacuation? Do you need any services? And I really would encourage everyone to share that. They might not know about it.
Excellent, thank you, yes.
Eileen Normile, Hudson Bayou. Do you, or maybe Mark, could assist us in getting a digital copy of that brochure? The one that you were holding up, Kelly? Because passing it out physically.
It is available on the back.
There is a digital copy? Okay, super, because then if I send that to my community, they can send it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
scgov.net/be prepared on the back of the book. So when you take one, you'll have that.
And the reason I share this with the paper part is because there's still a lot of people that like paper. I'm sorry, I do too. So, and you gotta think too, if the information is available online and the power or the satellites or whatever is out, you can't access that. So having a paper copy is helpful.
Anyone else? Going once? Oh,
Hi, Chuck Aff, St. Armand's. Thanks for being here, Todd. It was a little triggering to hear all this stuff since we lived through it. But one of the problems that we have on St. Armand's during these hurricanes was that the island was not draining. And we had about 3 feet of water, as you know, that lasted for at least 3 days. I'm just wondering, when you, and thank you for going out there to clear our roads. You mentioned that was your primary work here. With the 3 feet of water that you had to deal with on St. Armand's, if the island would have been draining normally, a normal rate, what additional resources do you think you had to have in order to clear those roads and keep people safe in the 3 foot of water situation versus a normal drainage situation? Because that's really our problem, is we have a lot of aging infrastructure that is not draining the island.
No, I understand, and I believe the county is aware of that as well. And I know that my director, Nick Patel, as well as our city engineer, Saji, they're coordinating, working with the county to see how that can improve. But part of the challenges with that statement is if we have a high tide, that can also lead into challenges on that water trying to successfully get out of there as well. And I've seen, in my career, I've seen all different types of areas get flooded, like when Helene got flooded, how crazy in some areas that was, as well as Debbie. And it goes back to a little bit of the nature side of it. How much is nature going to allow to go? Because our water table is so high, so there's hardly any place for it to ideally go. But it's a good point as far as your questions, and I'll share that with Nick to see what potentially we could do to help with the draining out in St. Armand's. That's always been a challenge. The options that just come to my mind real quick is if we were to do a levee, but that may be problematic and expensive to try to do that.
I was trying to understand what resources you had to deploy in that 3-foot water situation for 3 days.
Right.
There were plenty of low tides versus a normal situation where you would have drainage.
Yeah, with the contractors, they're not going to be going out if that water's that high, just because they're going to be going out trying to clean up with equipment that can't get in there. So if you remember those big grapple trucks, they can't be going in that amount of water to get in there. So they're going to have to wait until that water subsides.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Next up, we are going to have County Commissioner Mark Smith. Please join us at the front, and Chairman Kristina Sargent. We're going to go through some questions with them. Will Luera will be our moderator this morning, and he's going to take you through the rules. And the board's going to move over there somewhere in an empty chair so that you all are up here all by your little lonesomes. Please have a seat. Kristina, where are you? Oh, well, that's perfect. Will, you can explain the rules.
Yes, I do. Just want to make sure it worked. Hi, Kristina. You are on. Come on up. Come on down.
The one moment.
I know. All right. Thank you, everyone, once again for being here. Again, my name is Will Luera. Welcome to Mark Smith and Kristina Sargent. We have some questions here that I'll be asking. First, the ground rules. I will ask the question, and then I will find who's going to answer the question first. You'll have, also we're asking that there's no rebuttal, all right, while the other person is giving their answer. You'll have 2 minutes, and at certain points you'll be given a 15-second warning to look like that, and then you'll get a stop, which will say right there, time is up, okay? And then at that point, I might also interrupt if the answer is still continuing. If we do have time for questions, I don't know if we will, looking at the time, we'll open it up to the audience, but these questions were curated based on questions that we received. So, let us get started. I know that we just got off of a somewhat triggering presentation, but since we're on it, we're going to continue on that topic with the first question. This is a 2-part question. As we just saw in 2024, we experienced 3 100-year types of storms. Now, do you support keeping the interlocal agreement for stormwater maintenance and management with the county, and why? And in anticipation of these continued flooding issues, what, in your opinion, should be done to improve the county stormwater capital improvement project prioritization system? We'll go with Mark first.
All right. Well, we did have a rather exciting 24, where we all found out how little Sarasota County had done when it came to maintenance. I was able to fight for the city and got $13.5 million for St. Armand's, as well as money for the dredging of Whitaker Bayou, Hudson Bayou, as well as Philippi Creek. We have a new stormwater director, Ben Quartermain, who's focusing on our stormwater issues. So that's a great thing, but it's going to take a long time. It's going to take at least 5 years, I think, for us to catch up. Along that same line, the interlocal agreement. I don't believe, and I believe my other commissioners agree, that we're not going to even think about that until we can get everything back to zero. You know, where we've got everything maintained, all the ditches and creeks and stormwater facilities, all back to where they need to be before we even discuss it. Because we're all in this together. The county water flows into the city, and obviously the city water flows into the bay. And so I don't believe that that's going to be anything that anybody needs to be concerned about for some time.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kristina Sargent. I apologize, I wasn't here when we started. So I'm not on the commission right now. I'm a candidate. I did experience the same type of flooding as everybody else. I live in the Pinecroft area. My neighborhood was underwater for the flooding, not necessarily the hurricanes. We're fortunate that we have electricity that's underground. As far as the decision making about the city and the county, I understand that that is a topic that has been brought up, but when you take a new, I guess, area of government, you have to staff it. You're starting from ground zero. And right now, with the devastation that the county and the city has had, like Mark says, it's important to get back to a point where it's on even playing field, so then you can make those decisions, because those areas need to be staffed, there needs to be a plan, and those things do take time, but it is important, especially when you have FEMA. I was in the National Guard. Ironically, I was a battle staff NCO for emergencies, so I shoveled snow during Snowmageddon, and I worked during Baltimore riots, and I don't think FEMA has reimbursed the state of Maryland for the 2015 Baltimore riots. So it does take time to trickle down, but it is important that it's a conversation. I understand the city wants to have more self-governance on issues that do impact everybody, but I do agree with Mark in that regard. We need to work on getting it together first.
Thank you, Kristina. Move on to our next question. This one is pretty close and important to me. So I think it goes without saying that all of our candidates here appreciate the essential role of the arts in Sarasota in bringing visitors and tax dollars. Currently, the county collects a share of the TIF funds for the area where the SPAC would be built, but it is not willing to use their share on this project. If elected, would you work to ensure those funds are released to support the will of the residents of the county? As well as the residents of the county are significant users of the arts offered in the city. I'll go with Kristina first.
So I think we get asked this often, but yes, I do believe that there needs to, a share does need to go to the city. We all enjoy it. I live in the county. I don't live in the city. I come here often. I walk the bridge every day because I want to feel some type of elevation. And the arts are important, you know? So, yes, I won't take up with the 10, but yes.
Mark? Well, this is a similar question that I had when I ran 4 years ago. There's four items that I want to make sure that we get across before I can support the new performing arts hall. The first one was I wanted to make sure that Van Wezel is going to be saved. It's an historic structure and well used, and it can be flood proofed and renovated. The second one was that I wanted to make sure that the foundation, which has an agreement with the city of Sarasota to have 50% to take over 50% of the expenses, has the money. And if we're looking at a $400 million project, or wherever it is now, the foundation needs to have $200 million in the bank. The last I was told, they had 20 million. So until the foundation has the money, half the money, whatever it is, I can't support it. The other is that the theaters in Tampa control the Broadway shows as they come south. And so they squeeze every dollar out of a Broadway show and then they send it south. So we don't get them for 5 to 8 years, whatever, depends on how long it takes up there. I want a letter, I requested it from the group involved with this back. I want a letter from Tampa saying they're going to release the shows within a 2 to 3 year period. So we can make this new performing arts hall financially viable. If it's up there for 8 years, you know, us folks down here are going to be going up to Tampa to see it. And so when it finally gets here, they're not going to have the market. And so the final thing was the parking. I understand that's a city issue, but we need parking because people aren't going to walk to these Broadway shows, you know, for several blocks in 85-degree heat. So I'm saying goodbye.
Thank you, Mark. Next question. The state is looking to end property tax for homestead exemption. Do you support the idea of ending property taxes? And how do you see the county managing its way through this potential change?
Sorry. Well, if you don't have property, I'd love to not have property taxes, I'll be honest with you. But the fact is that the way they're looking at it now, we haven't gotten a definite answer for Todd. Oh, that's quick. The thing is, the majority of your property taxes actually go for the school board and it goes into the hospitals and that type of thing, and that's supposed to all be protected. So all we have really is your government, which is the working of the county government is about, I think, around 40% of the property taxes. So if we cut that entirely, obviously no money's going to be going to parks or to our libraries. And the services that we're used to, like actually having the streets paved and that type of thing, traffic lights working, are going to be diminished greatly. And so I hope there's going to be some sanity up there. You know, maybe increasing a homestead exemption and that type of thing. But getting rid of property taxes, you know, we're going to have to find alternatives because we just can't run the government without them. So we're going to be in a real pickle.
So our representatives here in Sarasota have informed us that if homestead tax does get eliminated, they are not going to find additional funds to give to us on the local level. We are going to have to either do without, or we're going to have to find the funds some other means. So eliminating that is not going to change a different pot of money that the state is then going to give to the local government. So that is unfortunate. If they had a different plan, maybe everybody would love to not pay as much taxes with everything being expensive. Everything's expensive now. Insurance is expensive, gas is expensive, groceries are expensive, but in our community especially, we need that revenue. We need the revenue. The spending at the county level and the city has significantly increased. We've had hurricanes and storms, and we need to prioritize allocating that money. It would be a significant loss down to every individual if they are eliminated.
Thank you, Kristina. Last question. As we heard earlier from Ron, U.S. Recycling public nuisance suit. Will you push to support and join the city in the public nuisance lawsuit against the owners of U.S. Recycling? Kristina.
A legal question. So I'm a lawyer. Don't hold that against me, but I love anything regulatory. I love looking at laws and how they're applied. And it was interesting. It really got my attention when they were looking. There was no city law, and there was no county law, and there was no enforcement. And enforcement comes from the state. I think strength in numbers is great. I think writing to Tallahassee is great. I know that there are so many lawsuits. Every day I pick up a newspaper, there's a different lawsuit. This person's suing that person, this agency's suing the government's getting wrapped into something else. I, as an attorney, because unfortunately the attorneys will never be at a loss for work because there's just so much going on, there's so much that's unregulated. I would support exploring all the other options prior to binding everybody in litigation.
Thank you, Kristina. Mark?
Well, I've actually been getting emails from Ron on a regular basis, and I did bring up at a county commission hearing, and I got the support of the commission to give direction to the county attorney to work with the city attorney on this issue. Sarasota County happens to be one of maybe 5 counties that actually has the authority given to it by the FDEP. And so I feel strongly that the county has a responsibility here if we are the agents for FDEP. And we've got an extremely bad actor in this use recycling or whatever their name is now. And unfortunately, there's individuals and corporations that don't listen to reason and they don't care because they're making a lot of money. And the only thing they listen to are lawsuits. And that's why I want to thank the Suncoast Waterkeepers for all they're doing to bring it to light. I hope that the city commission can figure out a way to shut them down because they're not licensed. And I did take note that it looks like Sarasota County needs to get on the ball when it comes to allowing unlicensed commercial activity or industrial activity. So I'll be bringing that up to the county attorney on Monday. But, you know, we've got to do everything we can. The health of the citizens has been in jeopardy and damaged for the last 6 years. And it's amazing that we haven't been able to shut them down. It's just crazy. But we're going to use everything we can. I'm going to try everything I can to get the county attorney to help any way they can to help the city and let's shut these folks down.
Thank you, Mark. Let's take 2 minutes each to recap your thoughts and tell us why we should vote for you. We'll start with Mark.
Well, I've got a lot of experience. You know, the strength of our government is the neighborhoods. And that's why it's been a pleasure for myself and Hester to come to these meetings for the last 4 years when I was running and since then. And what I found is the most important thing that a public servant, and that's what we are, is to listen. And that's why we've been going to your neighborhoods, because we don't know if we don't go. And I want to continue to help and work with the city. The relationship between the city and the county wasn't all that wonderful when I got elected for whatever reason, and I believe I've been able to soften that a little bit, and we've been working together better, and I want to continue to work with you all and with the city because we're all in this together. And by communicating and working together, we'll be able to solve the problems. We've got a lot. We've got to get the stormwater thing straightened around, but we're on our way, and I want to continue to help you as your county commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Kristina.
So my name is Kristina Sargent. I've lived here for approximately 5 years. I'm originally from Baltimore City. I was a prosecutor in Baltimore until I became a prosecutor here in Sarasota. I came here during COVID. I was in the National Guard for 15 years. Came here, they kept Maryland closed for years during COVID. Came to Florida, I have family that lives in Northport, loved it, fell in love, went home. I said, I'm taking the Florida bar, I'm selling the house, and I'm going straight to Florida. And I'm going to Sarasota. and I was here for a week and I absolutely loved it. I served 15 years total in the National Guard. I had to get out of the National Guard to move to Sarasota because there was no National Guard base here for me to get to my 20 years. So I really uprooted my life to move here. I was a prosecutor for about 1.5 years in Sarasota and both Manatee. I love Sarasota. This is such an engaging community. I love Baltimore too, but we have problems in Baltimore. And not a lot of the same problems resonate here. You don't have to worry about getting carjacked when you go outside your house. You don't have to worry about getting shot by a stray bullet. I spent 5.5 years in violent crime unit, and I put a lot of bad people away. And when I look at crime statistics, I didn't even put a dent in them. So very happy to be here in Sarasota. I love my neighborhood, and I live in Pinecraft, and I love being an advocate. There needs to be a little bit more pushback and advocacy. We do get a lot of money for the county, but we need to prioritize better. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristina. Kelly, do we have time for questions?
Questions from the audience?
If there are questions, I see some hands going up. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm trying to limit the time here. But just very quick, for those of you that do ask questions, I want to make sure that they're specific to the county and that they are questions that both candidates can answer. Okay? All right, so.
Of course, the other side.
Kevin Smith, Indian Beach, Sapphire Shores. A two-part question. Kristina, Mark has come to, I think, every single one of these meetings every Saturday. My first question is, would you pledge to do the same? And the second question is, for both of you, what are your priorities moving forward for the county?
So I am getting as involved as I can right now. I'm going to be a grandmother in July. I know, I look like I'm 30, I'm not. But I'm very excited. My daughter just moved here. We're going to all the neighborhood organizations. We're trying to get as involved. Now I have this other layer of involvement that involves children. You know, I haven't done anything with kids in 2.5 decades. I will make it my effort to come here. I love seeing the county and the city, one, work together, and two, I love that there's organizations like this where you have representation, so I will do that. My priorities is the infrastructure. We have aging infrastructure. We know how bad it can get. We witnessed that a couple of years ago, and it's important that it gets addressed and prioritized. There's a lot of talk about how we're going to do things on the back end. We sat here today to prepare for hurricane season. You need to get ahead of things. You have to have a plan so we don't have the flooding and all of the issues. So infrastructure. The money has to go and be a priority there.
Well, yeah, I'm going to continue to come and see you every month. As you're all well aware, Sarasota County is responsible for the stormwater infrastructure. And as we've seen and celebrated all the neighborhoods turning 100, all that infrastructure is just as old. And so, like I mentioned earlier, Ben Quartermain, our new stormwater director, is in the process of evaluating the stormwater infrastructure and what we have to do. And there's going to be a lot of work. Probably one of the busiest, more intense construction going on is within the city limits of Sarasota. And that's all being dumped into an old system. And so I believe that obviously our priorities need to be upgrading that infrastructure system and working with the city to make sure that we can handle it. That's our number one priority. It has to be until we get on top of it. And like I said, it's going to take a few years for that to happen. But we are on the right track. We've got, if you look at the Sarasota County Stormwater Interactive Map, you can see which neighborhoods have been maintained, and you can also see where it is going to be on the schedule if it hasn't been. And if you don't see your neighborhood on there, and it does have issues, please email me, and I will pass that along, because like I said, we've got 20, 25 years of, quite honestly, neglect. And I think the squeaky wheel gets the grease, so I need to know where your wheel is so that I can get you some help. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, we got 10 on time, so we're only gonna have one more question.
Hi, Chuck Half, St. Armand's. Thanks for being here. One of the things that resonated with me, Kristina, was you talking about resiliency and fixing our aging infrastructure. Development is really a painful thing, and when I see big projects going out east and laying new pipes, and the county is doling out millions of dollars for those projects, and our aging infrastructure over here is suffering, the tax base is over here, I'm really having trouble reconciling how the county prioritizes growth in the new area versus fixing the old area. And as an example, St. Armand's thought we were told we needed $25 million to remediate our island. We only got 13.5. So that was voted for by the Sarasota County Commission. So I'm just wondering, how do you balance those two priorities of expanding the tax base and building out growth out east at the same time for fixing our aging infrastructure? Because it seems like you can't have both, as evidenced by the cut that we got in St. Armand's from the 25 million to the 13.5.
Want to go first?
Sure.
All righty. Well, the stormwater out east is actually being put in by the developers as they develop. So that's on them. The 25 million that St. Armand's requested, you have to remember we had a certain set of dollars that we could associate or dole out to stormwater projects. I did my damnedest to make sure that you can get the 13.5, because, like I said, everywhere in the county is suffering because of the lack of maintenance. And so the spending has got to happen now, and St. Armand's is an emergency. You know, I don't mean to make light of it, but I have said that Ringling was great at circuses, but not land planning. That St. Armand should have been a mound, not a bowl. But that's neither here nor there. But I believe we can get the pumps and make sure we have the backflow preventers on the stormwater going through the seawalls to handle rainwater, like Debbie was. But when we have storm surge like Helene, there's nowhere for the water to go. And whether it's St. Armand's or CSTP where I am. And so it's, we just have to evacuate, but we have to make sure that we can have the rainwater taken care of. And that'll remain our priority. And I am in constant contact, it appears, with Chris Biglia and his efforts. And so I'll continue to make sure we stay focused on the St. Armand's problem with me.
The county has historically spent historic amounts of money over this past commission, the past 4 years. It's evidence that it hasn't been a priority because everything was a priority. They used to say in the military, when everything's a priority, nothing is. Sarasota County is 6th in the state for spending money on administrative government facilities. So speaking of the developments out east, there's a brand new $75 million building that the county is gonna go work out of, that there are plenty other buildings that could be useful. There wasn't a priority. It's aging infrastructure. There were historic events that happened. That should have been number one. But now we're talking about dredging after the fact. We're talking about doing updates after the fact. Fruitville is my exit. It looks like IROC over there. It's just, there's so much stuff. The signs are on the ground. They're doing all this development. It took me 20 minutes to get to Cooper's Hawk from where I live, which is 4 miles away. So it's the congestion, it's the development, but it hasn't been a priority. There's, I think, $576 million is what the county spent and increased the debt. It's $1.1 billion of bonded debt. So the spending was there, the money was there, the priorities weren't. And that's how you address the issues, by making them a priority. I don't need to have somebody tell me that there's aging infrastructure, we need to address the roads. I experience it for myself. So, thank you.
Thank you, Kristina. And thank you, Kristina Sargent, and thank you, Mark Smith. Thank you for being here.
All right. So that was just a precursor for next month when we have the at-large city commission for candidates sitting up here taking questions. Next up, I would like to invite our new city manager, Karie Friling, to come up and say a few words. I want you all to remember, she doesn't actually start work until May 29th. She came here on the goodness of her heart. I tracked her down on social media. I found a use for social media. And so be gentle, be kind.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Well, she did track me down. And actually, thank you for the invitation. It's true, I am still wrapping up things up north. So as people ask me, how you doing? I say I'm stretching 1 foot from Chicago, 1,200 miles down here in Florida. So I'm stretching as best as I can to finish some things up. But I will tell you is that I haven't been actively engaged behind the scenes. You may not see it, but a lot of the staff members back there know that. Because I have been involved in a lot of Teams meetings, weekly meetings, getting to know some of the staff, trying to understand the key critical issues within the city. I've also had the opportunity to follow back up with all the commissioners that are here today. And so I feel like every effort, every hour that I put in before I start here just makes me that much more ready to hit the ground running and work on the things that are important for the city. I do not have answers to all the problems. You know, it's funny, I've had a lot of the media reach out to me since it was announced that I'm the new incoming city manager, and they've all tried to back me into a corner. And Jan's been very good about helping me navigate the herding of the cat, so to speak. Because they all want to say, what are you going to do about this? And what are you going to do about that? And my answer has been, wouldn't it be extremely arrogant of me to come in and have preconceived decisions and ideas on what we're going to do? That's not what the city manager's job is. The city manager's job is to help the community, the elected board, the staff make good decisions together. And the key word is together, right? And I have been visiting your beautiful city, my beautiful city soon, for many, many years. If any of you watched the very extensive interview process, then you probably already know a lot about me, because there wasn't a whole lot to hide. And so, survived that. And so, you know, my goal is to come in here and instead of seeing the eyes through a visitor, I have family down here for many, many years, and now I'm starting to see, it's funny, I flew in yesterday morning, it was 40 degrees when I got on the plane in Midway, and I landed here and it was 84. I'm like, this is not so bad. is to really understand the local concerns through the eyes of your fellow neighbor. I will be a resident of the city, and I'm very looking forward to understanding that. I'm very impressed, I have to say, with this morning. I mean, what you have here is not normally what many other cities have. So I applaud you for having this format to get everyone together across the city and to be able to meet like this and to share ideas and be creative and discuss things. Kudos to you, because many, many cities do not have this. So hats off to you. I'm not going to come in here with any preconceived ideas. I understand there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I'm not afraid of hard work. I've been doing this for 30 years. And I've been doing it in a lot of unique different areas and different cities. And a lot of the issues that you face are the same issues that suburbs in the city of Chicago and not in the city of Chicago face every single day too. So my goal is to get in here. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to listen. Because when I'm listening to hear. I'm not listening to respond. And I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to the board. I'm going to listen to the staff. Because what I'm listening for is recurring things. The things that I hear over and over again. And those are the things that are telling me as a city manager, we talk about competing priorities, right? Everything cannot be a priority, right? So what I'm listening for, what are those things that are rising to the top, where there's an opportunity to work together to make the city of Sarasota the best city in the state of Florida, right? So I didn't come here with any prepared speech. I just wanted to come in and say hello. You know, I am in town this weekend. I'm trying to finalize like all the stuff I have to do when you're moving. So I'm doing that too while I'm here in town. And I'm gonna stop into City Hall on Monday too as well. But I just wanna say, I see so many familiar faces from when I was here. It seems like it was like ages ago when we had the community meeting, right? Well, that was a tough night, but it was a fun night. Because I really did enjoy the format where we got to meet at those small round tables and really got to have some personal one-on-one conversations. And I look around this room and there's so many people I remember being there. So I believe an engaged community is good. Now, there are some of my colleagues in the field of city managers, and I've been doing, like I said, 32 years, who may not agree with that, right? Oh my gosh, you know, they're complaining again, you know. That's not my philosophy at all. I started in community development, I started as an urban planner, and I started in neighborhood development. And so I do believe very importantly that the voices of the community are very important to listen to, and where we can, we're gonna work together. That does not mean that we're always going to agree. It's not going to mean that there are going to be times where I'm going to have a different viewpoint than some of you. I'm sure you don't all agree in this room. That would be impossible. We're human creatures, right? We bring our own experiences, our own opinions to the table, and that's what makes it such a beautiful conversation at times. But it can also be difficult conversations. So I just want to say, I'm really excited to get here. I will be here soon. I am finishing up my duties as the Executive Director up in DuPage County right now, and actually my last day up there is May 14th. So I'm not giving myself a whole lot of time off. But I am excited to get here and excited to work with all of you. And I will listen. I promise you I will listen. And from there we'll figure it out. And I don't know if you have any questions. I'm not going to answer any of the hard questions like, what are you going to do about this? I told the reporters, you're not going to get me in the corner. Because I just don't know enough yet, right? It's my job to learn from all of you. To learn from the staff, to learn from the Board of Commissioners. I know what I know. What I promise you this is I can bring solid 32 years of being a public servant in local government. This is what I have known. I have dealt with some of the most contentious issues you could possibly imagine up in the Chicago region, in the city of Peoria, which was my hometown that I worked for many years. And I also believe very strongly in conservation. The reason that I went to DuPage County, and if you did your homework on me, and I know everyone in here did, The reason I left being the city manager, went to DuPage County as their executive director, it was in the middle of COVID. And I just realized something. All of a sudden, and Illinois handled things differently than Florida, and that's neither good nor bad. We're not going to judge. Everyone in every area is uniquely different from each other. But what I saw was the importance of nature, the importance of conservation, the importance of open space. Mother Nature does know how to get it right. And you can fight Mother Nature as much as you want to, and all you know it basically I've heard the horror stories of what happened in 2024. Sometimes you can win, but usually you don't win against Mother Nature, right? So we just have to be prepared. So I went to that because there was a calling in me that I was like, I really think I can make a difference in the conservation arena as it relates to local government management. And I just want you guys to look out the window here. Because you might not see it the way I see it, but my goodness, I am a glass half full person, okay? We will disagree, but I will still be a glass half full. I will not tell you, no, we can't do it. I will tell you, we may not be able to do that, but we can do this and this and this together. But if you look at out that window right now, wow. Don't forget that. Don't forget the wow of why you live here. And I am so excited to join you as a neighbor and as a fellow community member. But wow, I mean, Mother Nature in all her glory is right here in your backyard. So that's really all I have to say. I'm ready to
We're going to invite Karie back in 90 days after her first day to actually tell us what her priorities are. All right, it's time for neighborhood report. Woohoo! Nancy, please join us at the front. Sorry. Where shall we start? How about Shoreland Woods? Would you like to go first? We need to give them a microphone. So the new and improved Pat Robinson is with us this morning. Thank you. I gotta go find my phone. Carol, please.
Carol Lackey, Shoreland Woods. Congratulations and all of that. Hurt you, Nancy. We are just having some stormwater issues, surprise, surprise, that we're trying to get ahead of with before hurricane season. I really don't have anything to report other than we're working with the county diligently to clear out some of our storm drains. And it's been a 2 or 3 year process and it's still going on. So I just keep plugging away. Every time that they say the issue is closed and it's not, I keep at it. So thank you.
I mean, around Hudson Bayou, a little bit of it's too late to know anyway. We were supposed to have our annual meeting today, but because of the CCNA timing and the fact that we thought we were going to have our new city manager as a speaker at the very moment she was here, it has been put off until October. So that is really the report from Hudson Bayou. Quick mention about stormwater, and that is that as a member of the county stormwater advisory board, I can tell you one of the most interesting things that I've learned is that stormwater only means it comes from the sky. The jurisdiction of the advisory board and quite possibly the county government does not include storm surge. And it is something that we would like to change because somebody's got to help with storm surge.
I'm Laurel Corberg, Central Coconut neighborhood, and the big thing that we had this past month with Todd Kurcharski and his team, we had a cleanup day, and it was the first time we did it in a long time. It was just fantastic. They brought dumpsters to both parks, Pioneer and MLK, and they even brought their trucks in and went down each street and allowed people to put stuff in front of their houses, and they picked it all up. And it was just amazing. Anyway, thank you, Todd and your team. They were just awesome. And also, we were able to afford to do that because we did get the grant from the city. So we were able to buy signs and all the stuff we need to do. And we had a picnic at the end. That's it.
Judith Hoffman, Golden Gate Point, no report. Tammy Bunce, Glen Oaks Gardens, nothing to report.
Mary Butler, Emerald's Park Neighborhood Association. Let's see here. So April 4th, we celebrated the Newtown Spring Fling and Easter Parade, and it was a huge success. The community came out, our city came out, and we really celebrated our spring fling, and it was just good. We had an Easter egg hunt that Sunday, and probably about maybe 500 kids came out. Yeah, it was a lot of kids, and oh yeah, a lot of kids. But we had a great time. So thank you everybody who did show up and support us. Thank you. Next, we have the Great Newtown Community Cleanup, which is going to be happening on Saturday, May the 9th. It's going to be at Bay First Bank, and so we will have garbage bins set up. So let's say you have something you want to dispose of, and then you can have that stuff disposed of. So we're looking forward to another community cleanup. And you know, we love to feed people, so I'm sure somebody's going to bring a grill. We're going to have some hamburgers and hot dogs, you know. We're going to make a time of it. So it's going to be at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And once again, we're going to be bringing waste collected to the dumpsters. And that's going to be at Bay First Bank, which is 1782 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way. We got a Hurricane Expo coming up on June the 13th. It's going to be at the Newtown Estates Community Center. And I believe that starts about 10 o'clock. But I have a flyer, and then I'll send it over. And in June, we also celebrate Juneteenth. And that is June the 19th. We will have our Juneteenth celebration that Saturday, which is June the 20th. Thank you.
And where is she from?
Ron Grant, Arlington Park. Let's see, at our meeting this past Tuesday, it's too bad Officer Matt's not here because I wanted to thank him. He came to our regular monthly neighborhood meeting and gave a report to the neighborhood and allowed everyone to ask some questions, which I would recommend all of you to have him come to your meeting and meet your neighborhood. It's a really good time and it's very helpful. One of the things that he expressed and shared was that he's working on a packet of information concerning e-bikes, which is a real issue for everyone, I think, in the city. So he's producing that with a whole bunch of information. He's got to run it up the chain of command to make sure everything's okay, and then he'll begin to share that. So I hope he didn't take his spotlight away, but he's working really hard for us, guys. I think that's important. And then I just wanted to reiterate, I asked about the budget earlier, and at the last commission meeting, there was a update from the city's finance director, Kelly Strickland. And this budget year is really important. And it matters to us because the things that we care about, if they don't get funded, they don't happen. And the city, you really need to pay attention to the budget this year. The city is in even more dire straits than they thought. The city's reserves came in actually came in $4 million less than projected last year. So they had planned on one level and they came in $4 million less. So they're a little bit behind the plan. And there's going to be reductions in operating budgets across departments in order to preserve cost of living adjustments for staff. And this is necessary because, as we all know, we're all paying more, and you have to take care of your staff so that they can continue to take care of us. So the point is that pay attention to the budget this year, advocate hard for the things that matter to us because the dollars are getting very hard to find. So thank you.
I'm Valerie Bouchard for SHA Council. We had our Easter dinner at McCown Towers. Fed a lot of people. Thanks for the partnership with the city in Sarasota. And we are looking forward to our Mother's Day event, which we will have a huge cake and ice cream for our citizens. And so that's great. And then I want to let you know that forthcoming we'll be having a street party over at Bertha Mitchell to bring our citizens together. So that any of you that have connected with organizations like health or anything else that you want to share, you're welcome to bid with us on that day. I'll give you more information about that as it comes forth. Also, would like to talk about the Orange Avenue flooding, the drainage that's over in that area, because you can almost take not a big boat, just a little sailboat through there when it rains. So if we could really look into the drainage in that area, that would be awesome. And that's all I have at this time.
Tommy Diolano with Bayonne Siesta, nothing to report.
Tom Zandvik, San Remo. We're having a board meeting on May 19th.
Sorry, that wasn't for you. Sorry.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop.
This is why you should let me do the timer.
Hi, Chuck House, St. Armands again. As Beth mentioned, I wanted to mention the visioning session. So a couple weeks ago, the city and the county hosted a visioning session, our second one, with the residents and business owners of St. Armands. There was very good attendance also from other people like Lido Key and Longboat Key and other areas. But some thought that the purpose of the meeting was to gauge the community support, the resident support for putting hotels on St. Armands. The audience said a firm no on that, and they want to maintain the density and the charm of St. Armands. Obviously, we know we have infrastructure issues, so if you add density on top of that, that can be very problematic. I know on stormwater, we've been talking to try to understand where the county's going to spend the $13.5 million. They discussed that at this meeting a little bit, and we don't know if they're just asking for our input, but we're giving our input, but they're working out the priorities. But the big kind of deflating moment in the room was when the county said that they won't be starting on our resiliency project on St. Armands until 2029. So, yeah, that was the same reaction in the room. So, you know, we can't get these things moving fast enough, in my opinion. And I appreciate Todd Kurcharski's comment about Dawn of the Dead, that St. Armands looked like the Dawn of the Dead, because it's painful. And we had another home sale out there that sold for less than assessed values this week, so the city and county is going to be receiving less tax revenues when that property gets reassessed, presumably. It just feels like we really need to get this thing turned around, and we're doing everything we can to advocate, because we know how much the city residents love going to St. Armands. And we're not doing this just for ourselves, we're doing it for you all as well, because we're proud of our community. And then, yeah, I think that's it. Beth, did I leave anything out on the visioning side? Okay, thank you.
Kevin Spence, Indian Beach, South Bar Shores. The 24-hour 7-Eleven that 10 gas pumps goes before the DRC on the 6th. So we'll be having a number of people show up for that, just to have a presence there. Also, the good news on the Jungle Garden fence, the denuding of that area, the city has determined officially that they were in violation of the city resolution from 1972, and we'll be taking action with Jungle Gardens. On the flip side, and very, very good news, at our semi-annual meeting on the 7th, the owner of Jungle Gardens, or the president, Chris, came, and we were able to open a dialogue, and we now have an ongoing conversation and plan for future meetings. And so we will also be trying to integrate them better in the community and work with them in beautifying that area. That's it, thanks.
Suzanne Waxman, Tolls Court. For those of you that are new, we are an art community, and we do have some new artists. If you haven't been to visit us in a while, the artists are having an open house in May, and you can look on our website, it will tell you what date. But we encourage you to come. Also, our president, Anna, is working diligently with Norm's traffic study, and she's very active in it. We are having some issues on Morrell and Adams with the traffic. It's pretty dangerous in Lynx, as everybody is. So Anna is on top of that. If you could raise your hand, Anna. That's our president. But anyway, that's it for us, and pass it along to my friend.
Thank you. Lynn Elkis, Gillespie Park. We had an incredible meeting last month to address the apartment development that's going to be going up on Fruitville, and will be displacing the people that have been there, not just the people, the businesses with the people. They go together, that are going to be forced to move and relocate if they are able to find a place to go. Also, we have coming up on May 12th our next meeting, which will cover meeting the candidates for commission. So if there's anybody here that hasn't had the opportunity to meet the candidates that are running, please join us at our meeting. We'll love having you at Fogartyville on May 12th at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
As well as June 6th here. If you can't make June 6th, come on over on May 12th.
Mark Demay, Glenhouse Estates. No report.
Dean Anderson, Avondale. I wanted to thank Mark Smith for his support with the Hudson Bayou dredging. I know it's going to be a few years down the road, but we do have a hurricane season coming up this year and next year, and I'm hoping that the county can do a good job with the stormwater drainage situations in the neighborhoods that have those issues. Talking about priorities today, so if the county could do that, that would help with some of the flooding issues in a lot of the neighborhoods. We had our annual spring social last week, right on the bayou. It was a very lovely evening. A lot of people attended. It was really wonderful. And Karie, you're invited next April. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Go on. My name is Alan Parrish, I'm representing South Point Seattle Neighborhood Association. Only two brief items. We're looking forward to our annual business meeting and election on May 13th. So hopefully I'll be here at the following meeting, but you never know. Might be a different president. We've invited the at-large city commission candidates for the upcoming election. So it's in a restaurant. We're not going to have public speaking, but they'll be available for conversation. And we're looking forward to having a productive business meeting, finalizing our elections, and good conversations with the at-large commission candidates. Secondly, we are one of the neighborhoods that are participating in the traffic safety study that Norm mentioned earlier. And we're looking forward to not only having a lot of fun with our laser guns. I assume this is not like slap ball, so we don't really have to duck and cover. And we're also really looking forward to results, because our neighborhood, I'm sure it's like many others, that everybody believes that everybody's speeding just on their block. So I'm really looking forward to finding out just how much of that is really truthful. And if there is, we'll come up with some remedial steps. If it's not, then it'll be a good educational event for everybody. So I thank Norm and everybody on the program for pushing this one forward. I think it'll be very valuable for both of those directions. Is it real or is it not real? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Carl Schultz, Legal Key. Three different things here. At the beginning of April, we had our beach party. This is the 4th annual one. There was 185 people attended. It was a lot of fun. Esther, Mark's wife, sung the Star Spangled Banner, which is fantastic. And we had our board meeting wrapping up the season. We had the election of officers. That was done. Everybody's staying the same on it. And one thing that I've been out of the loop a little bit with my personal issues with my wife, but it was brought to my attention that the beach renourishment is going to be finishing up. They're having a ribbon cutting ceremony on the 22nd of this month, April, and May. Like I said, I'm still not ready yet. But the last 3 buildings down at the end did not get any sand, and again, I've been out of the loop a little bit, and I intend to find out why that didn't occur. But Monday, I am meeting with Jerry, we're in front of commission, reading our board report from the prep board into the minutes. And I made a motion at the last prep board meeting, the ask is of the city commission to start to direct the city attorney's office to start to set up a parks district. We had one, they rescinded it, and I think it's time that we really start looking at this. And also,
and rezoning.
And I was just gonna say, and the other thing about rezoning the parks and the G to whatever we're gonna try and get it into. But again, we had this once, let's get it back with some funding that's in perpetuity, that our parks are always something to take care of. That they have money to take care of. One last thing, a personal thing, a lot of you people who've seen, we're having a celebration of life next Saturday, 1 to 3 at the Lido Beach Resort.
Welcome back, Lou.
My name is Lou Costa from Burkey. For the neighborhoods who don't know me, I am a past CCNA president. I want to give kudos to Kelly Brown and her board, along with the 2 committees, for the phenomenal job you're doing. Congratulations. Give her a hand. Wonderful job for taking on what you're doing. They need it. Norm, wonderful job for taking on the perennial traffic calming issue. Going to my report, we have a new president, Tony Britt. Please stand up, Tony. Tony has put together a committee to address traffic calming again. This is the 7th time I've seen a committee on Bird Key. Tony is working with the city, with Karie, and he has joined the laser gun. Thank you.
It's going to be known as the NORM program forever.
David Lowe, downtown Sarasota Condo Association. I wish I wouldn't have had to bring this up, but I have. I want to speak about downtown master plan. Because of the time sensitivity of decisions now being made and because the city commission break is coming up in about 2 weeks. I've seen some communications on this situation, and a lot of us found very concerning. Now, I've not sorted out all the details, but to Karie's point, it's something we're hearing over and over again. I've seen enough to feel that the process is now tainted enough, it's beyond repair. That matters because the downtown master plan affects us all in the whole city, and particularly the over 23% of the population who live downtown. The plan is supposed to guide major decisions about downtown's future. If that process is not trusted, the plan will not be trusted. Urban planner Mitchell Silver said at a speaker series here a couple of years ago, planning should proceed at the speed of trust. That's exactly the issue here. We saw a similar issue with the city manager search. At some point, the question is not whether every step can be explained. The question is whether this public can still have confidence in the outcome. I do not believe the confidence exists here. I urge our city commissioners to weigh in assertively. As Ms. Karie said, we want to continue with wow, not how. Thank you.
Jerry Fagan, Glen Oaks Ridge, nothing to report.
Phyllis Berry, Plymouth Harbor. One short reporting is, on April 20th, the Sarasota City Commission unanimously approved Plymouth Harbor's rezoning application, a major milestone for the North Bay Tower expansion. It will be 150 residences, and we're looking at 2029, 2030 for completion. A wonderful thing for our community.
Melissa Laughlin, Rosemary District. I want to follow up talking about one of 3 key Rosemary District priorities, parking. And as I said last time, parking is not about parking, it's about, well, I said vitality, but I was misunderstood to say fatality. So now I'm too nervous to use that word. But parking is about people. It's about economic growth. It's about small businesses. It's about serving our community better. And I want to thank Braxton Harvey for immediately after hearing 30 to 40 businesses come and share their stories about how this is impacting them. They're not hiring people because there's nowhere to park. Their low-wage workers are quitting because there's nowhere to park without getting parking tickets. And so they're quitting because they can't afford the parking tickets. Braxton Harvey and his team the next day started enforcing in different ways due to what he heard from the neighborhood. And I want to share one person, one small business reached out to me and said, thank you, I can report that there was immediate improvement. We're also looking for increase in, Pat Robinson I think ditched, but I'm going to still use his cell number hopefully because there are still construction workers from the Quay and all of the development around Rosemary District taking up the parking spaces that are intended for our businesses, for our residents, for people to come to lunch, and we'd like some help there because that isn't a piece that has gotten solved yet. But overall, to keep our eyes also on a long-term solution because these are short-term, we need to help in the short term, but we need a long-term solution because the demand greatly exceeds the supply, which has been proven. So I just ask for continued consciousness that these short-term things are needed, but the long-term is the goal. Number 2, pedestrian safety. We also talked about the Boda Avenue and Tamiami with FDOT and city employees, so thank you for keeping that. That also is, we're looking for some short-term incremental progress to get our residents and the Quay residents to and Gillespie Park back and forth from the bay safely. So we need incremental progress there is what we're asking for, but we also need a big solution there as well. And we need some help thinking through how we can do that because it's complicated with FDOT and city. So we are, the Rosemary District is raising their hand along with the Bay, along with Gillespie, along with the Quay to say we need some help figuring this out for a long-term solution. Thank you.
Jody Geiger, Bayou Oaks. Last Saturday, we had a very successful event at North Water Tower Park. We had over 120 people. I want to thank Nancy Kelly for helping me always with the grant and any other questions that our neighborhood has. I also want to thank Jerry for the amount of attention he has placed to North Water Tower Park and what he has done with the medians and the Merle Roundabout is totally awesome. And also, thank you, Mark Smith. Anytime I've had a stormwater problem, I've emailed him and he's had it taken care of within a week. One of my big concerns is the amount of construction that we have. I don't mind that we build, I don't mind that we grow, but the problem is we're growing faster than our pants can actually hold us. The side streets are backed up like parking lots because of everything coming off of 41. The neighborhoods are being inundated with buildings that are not appropriate for the neighborhood. And Bayou Oaks will be at DRC on May 6th because we don't need a 7-Eleven in our neighborhood. Thanks very much.
If I could just add something. Jody is a new president of a neighborhood. She communicates with her community via Facebook. And all of you that have a Facebook page, I follow you, your neighborhoods. She is amazing at getting back to people that bring up an issue on the Facebook page that they don't know how to solve. She responds to them and is, in many, many cases, at their home the next day, helping them solve a problem. So kudos to you, Jody. Thank you.
Just to let you guys know, when I started started the Facebook page, actually Richard started it, we had 200 members. I have over 700 members now.
Ricky Lindsay, Big Point Park Neighborhood Association. Again, tremendous shout out to Nancy Kelly for being a neighborhood supporter, helping us with our annual picnic this year, coordinating the delivery of tables and chairs, and approving the grant to help us do that. We're going to continue to pursue the restoration of our, it's a city-owned lot in our neighborhood that functions as our park. And working together with the city to give us the necessary approvals that we can go ahead and do the restoration. We're not asking the city for the money to do that. We're willing to do it on our own if we can get our permits to do that. And lastly, we continue to be very concerned about the Orange Avenue traffic signal at Orange Avenue and Gulfview Drive was removed after the last hurricane. And we have no signalization to get out of our neighborhood to take a left-hand turn against oncoming traffic. And that is an issue I'm going to continue to take up with the city engineer, city staff, because it's, we have no other way to get out of the neighborhood. And there was no good reason to take that right now. Thank you very much.
Mike Hassett, Broadway Promenade, no report.
Leo?
Leo Fitzgerald, Bearded Oaks. Just a quick geography, it's our first meeting. Eastwood, Bearded Oaks is near Eastwood Park and part of District 3. Very pleased to be here, and I have no report, but no promises that will continue very well.
Andrew Town, Cleveland Park, no report.
Thank you, everyone. I think Nancy has a couple things she wants to share.
Thank you. We have a new link to our city website for the anniversary of our country, 250 years. If you have any neighborhood events, I'm going to be sending this out, but it's also on the CCNA website. I'll send it out to all the presidents. There's a link that you can input any event you're having in your neighborhood for the anniversary. And you can also share some stories about America, family recipes, family traditions. It's going to be really wonderful. So I'll send that all out. I have a few more dollars left for the $250 community building grant, one per neighborhood per fiscal year. There's neighborhoods that have not applied for that. There's money still available. And the neighborhood partnership grant will be coming out this month. It's for next fiscal year. It is a completely new redesigned grant, much more user-friendly. Stay tuned for that.
What's the deadline for that?
It'll be the last Monday in August. I believe it's the 31st. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. I just want to point out something that I don't think I've ever seen happen at a CCNA meeting until today. And I want to thank you 5 from the bottom of my heart. All 5 commissioners are here with us this morning. Thank you very much. And don't forget to take your chairs back to the walls. Turn in your name tags. Please don't all attack Karie at once. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Have a great day.
I'll get you.